Hatshepsut, Egypt's most successful female pharaoh. In ancient Egypt, one woman dared to claim the title of king. With these words, we embark on an extraordinary journey into the life of Hatshepsut, one of history's most remarkable rulers. Her story isn't just about power. It's about resilience, defiance of societal norms, and the enduring legacy of vision and leadership. Hatshepsut wasn't just a queen of ancient Egypt. She was a trailblazer who rose above the challenges of her time to secure an enduring place in history. To understand Hatshepsut's achievements, we first need to delve into the world she was born into. In ancient Egypt, society was governed by strict expectations of gender roles. Women, while respected as caregivers and queens, were rarely considered fit to rule. Even the concept of a female pharaoh was almost unimaginable. Born as the daughter of Pharaoh Thutmose I, Hatshepsut was well-connected and educated. She held the esteemed title of God's Wife of Amun, a religious role that gave her significant influence. When she married her half-brother, Thutmose II, she ascended to the role of queen. But this was only the beginning of her journey. Circumstances, coupled with her determination, would soon lead her to claim a role no woman had ever truly seized before her. When Thutmose II died prematurely, his heir Thutmose III was just a child. Hatshepsut initially served as his regent, ruling in his stead, but something unprecedented happened. She declared herself pharaoh. This decision was not merely symbolic, it was a bold assertion that she, a woman, could wield the full power of the throne. To solidify her position, Hatshepsut adopted the imagery of a male ruler. She was depicted in traditional regalia, complete with a false beard and the kilt of a king. But this was more than a costume, it was strategy. By aligning herself with male symbolism and invoking divine will, Hatshepsut dismantled the barriers of tradition and legitimized her unprecedented rule. The challenges of being a female pharaoh were immense. Political opponents doubted her capability simply because of her gender. Yet Hatshepsut silenced critics by leading Egypt into a period of remarkable stability, prosperity, and innovation. Hatshepsut's reign is best remembered for its extraordinary architectural achievements. She commissioned ambitious projects that showcased Egypt's might and her vision as a ruler. Chief among these was her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari, nestled beneath towering cliffs in Luxor. The temple is a masterpiece, blending human innovation with natural grandeur. Its terraces and majestic colonnades celebrated the gods, proclaimed her divine right to rule, and immortalized her legacy in stone. Beyond sheer beauty, it served a deeper purpose. It positioned Hatshepsut as a timeless ruler, one who was not just part of Egypt's present, but a cornerstone of its eternal heritage. Structures like those at Karnak further underscored her reign's architectural brilliance. Hatshepsut funneled resources not only into her legacy but also into Egypt's infrastructure, temples, and monuments, ensuring that her people benefited from her leadership. Hatshepsut's brilliance wasn't confined to stone and mortar. She also turned her gaze outward, revitalizing Egypt's trade networks and ushering in an era of economic prosperity. Perhaps the most famous example of this is her legendary expedition to the land of Punt. The land of Punt was a mysterious and exotic destination, believed to lie somewhere near modern-day Somalia or Eritrea. Her ships returned laden with treasures, gold, ivory, myrrh trees, and exotic animals. These goods were not just symbols of wealth. They were symbols of Hatshepsut's ability to expand Egypt's reach and influence. Under her rule, Egypt thrived. Trade routes flourished, wealth poured into the kingdom, and prosperity uplifted the lives of ordinary Egyptians. Hatshepsut's vision extended beyond immediate gain. She ensured the stability of her kingdom for generations to come. Hatshepsut wasn't just a builder and a trader, she was a spiritual innovator. She skillfully used religion to anchor her authority, crafting public narratives that intertwined her reign with the divine. One of her boldest moves was proclaiming herself the daughter of Amun, the king of the gods. This divine connection wasn't merely a claim. It was reinforced visually and ceremonially through temple art and religious rituals. By presenting herself as chosen by the heavens, Hatshepsut not only legitimized her rule, but also strengthened the religious institutions of Egypt. Her contributions to temples, particularly at Karnak, further elevated her standing. She aligned herself with the sacred, ensuring her story was eternally enshrined in Egypt's spiritual and cultural consciousness. Under Hatshepsut's reign, not just infrastructure and economy thrived, a cultural and artistic renaissance blossomed as well. Her era encouraged exquisite craftsmanship from grand monuments to intricate sculptures. Hatshepsut was often depicted in statues and carvings that walked a thrilling tightrope between femininity and masculinity. Some depictions showed her with the slender features of a woman, while others adopted the broad shoulders and beard of a male king. These artistic choices weren't contradictions, they were a statement. They reflected her unique role as a female leader who ruled with the power of a traditional pharaoh. This flourishing of the arts wasn't just for Hatshepsut's benefit. It inspired a sense of identity and pride for the ancient Egyptians, creating a cultural legacy that would be admired for centuries. And yet, for all her grandeur, Hatshepsut's legacy faced a brutal assault. After her death, her successor and stepson, Thutmose III, seemed to have orchestrated a campaign to erase her from history. Her statues were defaced, her inscriptions were chiseled away, and her name was omitted from king lists. Why would Thutmose III attempt to erase her memory? Historians suggest it may have been an act of political damage control, an effort to restore traditional dynastic continuity after her gender-defying reign. But what the ancient chisels aimed to destroy, time refused to forget. Ironically, the attempt to erase Hatshepsut fueled modern interest in her life. The shattered remnants of her legacy became puzzles for archaeologists to piece together, a rediscovery that has only made her story more compelling and enduring. It wasn't until the 19th and 20th centuries that Hatshepsut's story truly re-emerged. Archaeologists unearthed her temple, rediscovered her inscriptions, and even identified her mummy. What emerged was the portrait of a ruler who challenged expectations, harnessed creativity and strategy, and left a profound impact on Egypt's golden age. Modern historians highlight Hatshepsut not just as a ruler of Egypt, but as an inspirational figure who defied the odds. Her reign serves as a reminder that leadership and greatness are not bound by the constraints of convention. Hatshepsut's story is more than a historical account. It's a wellspring of inspiration. She refused to let rigid conventions dictate her limits. She dared to dream of a future where her abilities would speak louder than her gender, and she transformed that dream into reality. Through her resilience, vision, and leadership, she created an Egypt that was more prosperous, more united, and more lasting than what she inherited. Her story reminds us to rise above challenges, embrace innovation, and carve out our own paths, even in the face of adversity. Hatshepsut's legacy isn't confined to the temples or monuments she left behind. It's alive in every person who dares to defy the odds, every leader who envisions a better future, and every individual who asks, "Why not me?" This is the story of Hatshepsut, Egypt's most successful and unforgettable female pharaoh.